Greetings and welcome to Pinball Stories. Mike from PinballHelp.com here. And today I'm going to talk about an interesting game that I had an interesting pickup on. And this is, if you don't recognize it, this is Stern Sea Witch. This is a game that I picked up before they came out with the Beatles game, and you can see it's the same basic playfield layout as their new Stern game, the Beatles. But this is an early, I guess it's probably an '80s design, and it's really a really fun little cool game. And it's there you don't see very many of them out there. So I'll tell you an interesting story about how I found this and how I got this game. So let's talk about it. So this game I picked up uh, through an auction, not like a pinball auction, but an actual estate auction. Not only that, but I wasn't even there when I got the game, so I wasn't sure what condition it was in and whether it was even really a good buy. So what happened was, there's a nearby state that I go up and visit on a regular basis, and there's some auctioneers up there, and I like to go to their little country auctions, and usually it's mostly like tools and furniture, nothing special. But I've kind of decorated a lot of my place with all the stuff that I grab at these auctions. So I'm on their mailing list, and usually there's lists of things, and it's tractors and leaf blowers and stuff like that. Well, there was a pinball machine in it. So, um, and there's another pinball story about a different auction that I'll tell you at another time. But this one, um, this Stern Sea Witch was in it. So I contacted them and said, "Look, I'm not going to be up there for this auction, but is there any way that I can participate?" And the guy goes, "Sure. I'll tell you what. Give me your number and I'll call you when we get to this thing." And this is an old auction house that's not very low-fi, so I really didn't expect they would offer that service, but I'm like, okay. Now, most of the time, that's very hit and miss. If you trying to remote bid an auction is, most of these auctioneers just they don't really care. They're not, they're going to favor somebody local there that can pay them right then and there. So usually it's not a good deal. If you really want something bad, don't try this. But I figured, what the hell? So I gave them my number, and I didn't expect them to really call me, but they did. They called me when the game was coming up for auction, and so I was on the phone with one of the guys, and I kind of ran up I was in on it, and ran it up, and I don't remember what I got this for. I think it was probably maybe about $400, maybe a little bit more. I don't think it was over 500. I think it was under 500, maybe 400, something like that. Anyway, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the game, and you can see the playfield is in really good shape. Um, but the back glass kind of looks good, right? But it's got quite a bit of flaking on it, and I'll show you. Let's see, we can pull this down. Now, when I get games like this, I triple thick them, but you can see it's like Sea Witch has got a skin condition. It's pretty bad. So let's actually take a look at how bad the flaking is. It's not catastrophic, but it's a little bit all over the place. And I noticed this with this era Sterns. Um, they didn't completely delaminate like the Bally's did, but they did lots of little flaking. So each of those little dark spots is a blemish, and they can probably be fixed to some degree. But it's you know that's that's a back glass that probably has seen better days. Um, and if you saw a previous pinball story about Meteor, you know that I bought a game that didn't even have a back glass, or the one that had a nice back glass but a crappy playfield. And the next thing you know, I found another game with a missing back glass and a perfect playfield. So sometimes you could find this. So what I'm also holding out for with this game is that somebody will have a Sea Witch back glass that's in better shape than mine that'll either make me a deal. And there have been I've talked with a couple of people online, and this is something I'm kind of hunting down. But I'll be patient. I'm not going to put in so much money into this that I absolutely want to buy a premium priced back glass. And this is not a deal breaker. This game will play pretty decent and look pretty decent. So I'm not super concerned about it. And I didn't put a ton of money into it. But this is an interesting game that I picked up remotely by phoning into an auction, and it was the first time I'd ever gotten anything like this. I don't know if I would be excited about trying to do this again, but an interesting way of getting a game, and I'm continuing to work on it. It doesn't completely run just yet. There's some wiring issues that I have to do with some connectors and things like that, but I'm hoping to get this thing working real soon, and then I'll be able to show it to you. So that's another interesting story of the Stern Sea Witch that I picked up at an old estate auction in the country, and this thing will definitely live again, and I'm looking forward to playing it. So thanks for watching. For more, visit PinballHelp.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is YouTube/PinballHelp. And if you want to find out more about my other projects, look up pinchurch.com, Pinchurch. This is where the arcade that I've built with my fellow friends, we've turned it into a private recording studio and club, and it's really worth checking out. It's a pretty neat little scene, and we've got all kinds of bands and musicians that we have play with pinball machines as the backdrop. So check that out at pinchurch.com, and until next time, thanks for watching.